Hello? Yes. Sorry. When I was 9 years old, like any other 9-year-old, I didn't know what I wanted to do in life because honestly, who is thinking that stuff at 9? We're just busy playing, enjoying. I had a bunch of different things that I was dreaming of becoming. I had a lot of ambitions like any other 9-year-old, but I didn't take it that seriously. I thought that was going to be my life at that age group. I thought nothing would change. I thought I would decide what I wanted to do in life when I was much older and a teenager. But then one day, everything changed. I sat in a go-kart for the first time, and I found my purpose in life, and that's what brought me here today. In life, we like to think that there are big, defining headline moments that decide exactly what's going to happen. If it needs to be like a huge moment that's going to decide the rest of your life. For me, it was a casual outing with my family on a road trip when I sat in a go-kart. It felt huge to me, but I also didn't know that it would be what it is today. I thought I would get somewhere in life, but I didn't think I'd be able to get so much and so far. Now, I don't come from a particularly wealthy background for motorsports. Motorsports is a really expensive sport, and it was never in my mind that my family could support me all the way. Now, motorsports was not even this big decision. No one from my family is in motorsports. I didn't perfectly plan out what I was going to do, what championship I was going to race in, and exactly how things would work out. But I took the step to get into it because I just loved it so much. From there, I think every single moment that has happened over time has really built my career into what it is, inevitably, in any sports journey. Like I said, I'm not from a racing family. My parents didn't know anything about motorsports until I joined. Now, I didn't have the same background as the other drivers. I was just a kid who really enjoyed driving and speed. And I knew that my family couldn't afford it, but it was something that we tried to push towards, that we tried to get sponsorship for. Every time I was out on track, I raced my heart out because I knew that I'm not going to get many of these opportunities to prove myself. Other drivers, they had their own go-karts, they had their own engines, they had fancy customized racing gear, and they were at the racetrack every other weekend. But I didn't have any of that. I did not own a go-kart in my whole karting career, and I just recently got a painted helmet, that too by a really good friend of mine. Now, I used to think, obviously, that was unfair, that I didn't have the same background, the foreigner coaches, all the extra equipment that would help me get where I wanted to be. But somehow, those moments are exactly what gave me the extra push that I needed. Every single lap, every single corner, every single race, every mistake, it started to matter so much more to me than maybe it did to the rest of my competitors. In the moment, obviously, it was frustrating. There were many races that I didn't win. There were corners that I wasn't able to get right no matter how hard I tried. There were things that I felt were just so unfair. But over time, I realized that those moments are exactly what have built me into the person I am now. Now, every single time there's a setback in life, obviously, it feels like the end of the world. It feels like you're not going to bounce back from this. It feels like this is the toughest thing that you've ever had to face in life. And to make it all even better, you're a child, right? You're dealing with emotions, you're going through puberty, and you're also in a sport that's so demanding. When things like that happened, it was annoying, but now that time has passed, I look back on it, those moments have been the key parts of my journey. It wasn't the big grand moments either. It was the small things. It was the days when I messed up. It was the laps that I didn't get right, no matter how much I tried to. Now, in any journey, we've seen that there's a lot of hard work that goes into it, right? And sports being the way that it is, we've had, like I said, I come from this sort of background, and every single piece has mattered so much. Now, it wasn't even, through time that these moments became everything. It wasn't just even one single moment that defined my career. It was these small, small things. And from there, it wasn't that I raced nationally, I raced internationally. I earned podiums, I earned awards. I got awarded by the Prime Minister of India, but those are just the highlights of my career that you see. The moments that you don't see are the ones in the background, the days when I felt like giving up because I felt like I didn't have the right platform as the rest of the drivers. Now, it's been an amazing journey for me. I've learned so much that I didn't think I would at this age. I'm just 17. I don't think I can give you the meaningful life lessons that you're looking for, but I can try to share with you the learnings that I've had in my racing career. For me, it was all about making sure that I got where I could in a male-dominated field where, females are not respected as much or not welcome, let's say. I was able to represent India internationally as well a few times. I've worked really hard to get sponsors throughout the years to keep my racing career going. And those pieces are exactly what have built me into what I am today. Now, let me tell you about a particular race weekend where I was quick in practice. I was confident going into the race weekend, but we had 4 races, and going into the last race, which was the main race that would decide what would happen, I felt like I was confident. I went into the races, and the first race, something happened. Another driver crashed into me, and my race it didn't go the way I wanted, and I was disheartened. But I bounced back the next day, and I got a good race. But now, it's racing, it's life, things like this happen. And then going into the third race, I had another incident with another driver, which was completely out of my control. And I thought that I was happy. It was such up and down. I was happy that I was there, I was quick, I had the pace, but it was also racing. And an incident happened, and I thought that the podium that I really wanted so bad is almost out of reach now because of an accident in a previous race. But even now, it doesn't matter that I won that race. It doesn't matter if I finished on the podium. What really mattered was the fact that I was able to bounce back from those races where things didn't go my way at all, where I literally felt like all of this was like going down the drain. In racing, you could prepare as well as you want. You could give your whole life to it. You could spend days in the gym, in and out, but there's mechanical parts to it. If your car gives up on you, if someone else comes and ruins your race, there's not much you can do about it. That was exactly what built the resilience and strength that I needed to move on, that I really wouldn't have learned if I just had a smooth path, if I just dominated every race, and if I didn't have someone else there to come and, let's say, ruin the race weekend for me. Now, that moment has been something that's really built my mindset towards life. I've learned that there's nothing that's too big or there's nothing that's impossible to bounce back from because I have proof, I have confidence that I did it myself. For me, that was a huge defining moment. Even if it wasn't, a perfect smooth sailing weekend, it was exactly what I needed. It taught me the lessons that a perfect race weekend could not have. Now, over time, for me, my family has always been really supportive of my racing career, for which I'm very grateful. Because being in India, you don't get these things handed out to you. And like I said, not being from a wealthy family, it's just an even bigger disadvantage. Firstly, I'm female. In India, we have the stereotype that females can't even drive on the road, let alone the racetrack. This is something that also bothers me every now and then because I'm in this career, I'm really hoping to get forward somewhere, but there's naysayers, they come and they say things, and I'm a kid, I'm born into social media, it's the platform I was born into, and there's always things that people have to say. But even if that's frustrating, even if it feels like, I don't deserve to get the comments that I'm getting from people, these are exactly the things that are building this mindset, this tough mindset that I should stop paying attention to what people say. In India, we have a very common method of listening to society or paying attention, like a few of the previous speakers mentioned. It's very common to give in to what others want you to do, what others expect of you. Now, I'm living the life that I really truly love, and that's all with the support from my family. And there are people who still doubt my journey to this day, who still doubt how far I'm going to get. And on some days, it's even me who doubts how this journey is going to go forward, because to this day, I still don't have a clear picture or idea of what's going to happen in my racing career. It's as unpredictable as it can get. But if there's one thing that I have learned from this, it's the fact that the small things really do build up. If there's something in life that you feel like is not working out, give it time. It's not going to immediately show its purpose to you. There's so many moments in my career that I look back on, and I think that, in that moment, it was so frustrating, it was so annoying. I really didn't want to feel those emotions that I did. But now, when you think about it, those are exactly the moments that have built me into what I am. And all this doesn't just come from being, in this sport. It's part of life. I'm also a student. I'm studying. To learn to balance these things, to learn to manage every single aspect of your life at this young age has really been what has built me into what I am today. Now, I don't know how much more I can try to inspire you from my journey. I just hope that you learn that you learn that every single day matters, every single moment that you feel sad or you feel like you want to give up or you're upset, it all matters. They're all small pieces that really build what you become, and it turns you into something so much bigger than even what it might seem right now. I've really learned throughout my journey that really dream the impossible and just go for it. Even if the bad days are there, they're not going to last long. And even if the bad days exist, they are really going to help you somewhere. They've taught you a lesson. They're going to help you transform into a person who can handle those situations much better. And that's what sport has given me. Motorsports has given me absolutely everything in my life. And now I'm racing in Formula 4. I'm hoping to race more internationally and inspire a lot more people and a lot more younger girls. And if there's something that you guys can learn from me is probably just to remember that whatever it is in life that you're chasing, it's not just a goal, it's more like a work of art. And in this work of art, every single piece matters so much. Thank you.